Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Yes, I know, it's a lovely chair, isn't it? Alrighty, now I have to apologise in advance. I've got a customer that just rang who's about to pop in, so we'll possibly get interrupted, but nevertheless, here we go. So I've already cracked in and got the main board exposed. I'll just sort of film the printer so that we know what we're dealing with. Zoom out. It's a Wanhao duplicator 9, D9. It was not extruding properly, and I reckon we've got a dead driver on the main board. We tested kind of everything physically. We tested the extrusion and wasn't extruding. The motor did not seem to be giving any grunt. It wasn't so much that the hot end was blocked. It seemed to have no trouble pushing filament through, but the motor was lacking in the testosterone department. So yes, there was no push. So yeah, I'm just going to replace the wires. Now I've made a little strip of numbers so that I can number the wires just to make things easier, save me having to think, because not thinking is good when you don't have to. So without any further ado, number 1. First cab off the rank, power negative. It's well labelled anyway, so it's probably pointless, but I don't know which one of the wires is the negative until I label it, because that's going to... all it is black. But anyway, shush. There's multiple wires. There's 3 red ones. It could be very confusing. That is why I'm labeling. Now obviously the printer's not plugged in. This is 240 volts. What comes out of it is 12 volts. Oh, sorry, 24 volts. Oh, is it 12? I think they're 24. Yeah, 24. So obviously you don't want to play with the leads that go into this box. The ones that go out of it are okay, but have it off whilst having anything to do with it. Cool. Number 2. Number 3. Oh, good. I'm unplugging the main board now. So the first couple that I unplugged were the power. But there's no power anywhere, so now I can't see the chat whilst I'm working, so ring me, Teresa, if you see me doing anything really dumb. So I have here a hot air gun because I believe some of these plugs are going to be difficult to get out because they're hot glued. So I'm just going to warm some of those up in a moment. So this last one here out. And we'll go with the... yeah, all those ones are going to need to be warmed up before they're going to want to come out. So I'll get the hot air gun. Have to excuse the noise. Just going to warm it up. Just keep an eye on it that it's not getting too hot. Put your hand nearby and sort of gauge how warm you're making it. Unless you've got a fancy gun that tells you the temperature. You just feel the cables and make sure they're not getting too hot. If this main board was a good one, I'd probably be even more careful, but most components should be able to handle getting pretty hot. Alright, I can see the glue starting to get a bit gummy. Just leave that. Now the temperature takes a while to soak into the middle of the glue, so it can be a good idea to let everything cool down periodically when you're trying to heat something up like that. And just give it a chance so that you're not cooking the shit out of the thin parts whilst the thick parts are getting nothing done to them. So yeah, just keep an eye on that sort of thing. Don't cook your stuff. But yeah, you can get hot air guns that have got a a temperature readout on them, which is pretty cool. Okay. There we go. So that gets to be number 3. So we had the power at 1 and 2. We had the hotbed at 3 and 4. B temp is going to be number 5. That'll be the bed temp. We've got X motor, number 6, and let's pick off the glue while we're at it. So the X motor at number 6, the Y motor at number 7. It's pretty obvious because it's red. I like how they've colour coded that. It's handy. I don't know why they did, but I like it. Chats. Do the limbo through the camera. I'm just going to plug my camera back into the charger so it stays happy. Can we all see that well enough? Should I zoom in? Z motor. Number 8. Z2 can be number 9. Not to be confused with number 6. Number 10. What have we got here? What was next to 10? Y end stop. The X-min stop at number 11. They could be labelled, it wouldn't hurt them. If Reality can manage it, I'm sure they could. Might just give it a little bit more heat. the hot end, was it? I don't know. Power DET. Oh, that's that thing, whatever that guy is. Never seen one of them before, I don't know what that is. Pretty slacky that's just flopping around in there though. It's a bit weird. Surely that should be bolted to something. Yeah, it looks like it was at one stage. Missing bolts in there. That's interesting.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Just pop under here. Nice. How you going?
All right.
Away?
Didn't like the news.
Without the cog. There's an ice cream tub just there with all the bits in it.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Silly things. I can't wait till this bullshit's over, to be honest.
I don't think it's bullshit, but I'm waiting for it to be over too.
Well, the whole thing is like there's definitely a disease getting around knocking people down, but I think that the way that they've I don't know, it's a bit draconian for my likings. So what do you reckon they're going to do the trick?
Is that a nylon? That's nylon.
Yeah, that's a nylon carbon fibre blend. Is it stiffer than you're expecting or floppier?
I don't know what I'm thinking.
This is another part for someone else, but that's in ABS and same part in nylon. So you can feel the ABS is a little bit stiffer, but it won't handle anywhere near as much punishment.
ABS.
Yeah, so ABS is what things like motorbike helmets and Lego stuff like that are made out of. So yeah, just the detail on those cogs, I just don't know if it's catching enough. Are they spinning at high speed, or are they just like a servo that just moves and changes?
Sort of.
Yeah. And it's constant though. It's not just an adjustment type
No, it
thing.
doesn't change. I thought there was three.
I didn't print all the cogs because I figured that we'd discuss the cogs more in detail before I printed
That's
anymore.
a good idea.
Yeah.
What I thought, I had a look on. They look good. They look good.
There's a few I printed twice. Now there might have been some parts that I was meant to print multiples of. There's a few in there that I printed because they failed a bit and come out very nice. Some of them were okay, but so there's a few that I've reprinted because the first version didn't come out perfect. And obviously they all need a little bit of clean up to get the little areas off.
I'll get all the dags off.
So just double check there wasn't any parts that I was supposed to like print batches of. So I sort of went through and printed all the components, but I wasn't sure if there was any of those that I was meant to reprint.
There's nothing wrong with that one.
Which one?
Why would they come out different?
Well, different settings. See, if something doesn't turn out properly, I'll change the settings and print it again.
Okay.
Yep. So I've
in all that, there's one of them that's not quite as big as that.
the cogs. Yeah, I just reprinted the same cog, trying to get it right over and over again before I moved on to the next one. And because I sort of got as far as I felt like I could easily get.
Yeah. So, what's the temperature of this thing? What does it come out at?
It comes out of the nozzle at 250, and it can handle up to about 100 before it, permanently changes shape. But if you've got it under a lot of load, it could change it at 100. It might even change shape. Like if you've got it on the dashboard of the car and you've got a brick sitting on it, and bending it, it'll possibly come back out at the position that it's been sitting in the car.
No. What I'm thinking is if you haven't done the ones,
All three cogs.
all of them.
Yeah.
I was having a look on the internet, at casting in sealer.
Polyurethane?
No, the sealer like
Oh, silicon.
silicon.
Yep.
Casting in silicon. And this bloke gets a bucket of water, not a bucket, this much, puts a heap of washing detergent in it, or washing soap.
Yep.
And
The powder or the liquid?
No, the liquid.
Yep,
And
yep.
squeezes a whole heap of silicon into it, and then gets his fingers in and turns it into a amorphous ball,
Yep.
and then puts it into a mold, not into a mold, but into something which would make a
Container,
mold,
yep.
right? Just a cardboard box. And I'm thinking if we had one that was really good,
Well, I can print one off the resin printer. So I'll show you something that's been printed on the resin printer. Where are we? You don't see any of the layer lines and stuff that you normally see. So it's not a great example because this isn't the best print, but it's an example. I think I stuck down.
because the middle's missing out of these. The middle has got a sort of a star-shaped thing in it.
Oh, is there a cog tooth? Is there?
No,
Like not-
there's a
yeah.
star-shaped shape that takes
Is that screen turned on that side to see? Can you see the screen? Find your folder. This is smooth on that one. Maybe I didn't. Might have been on one of the other ones.
Definitely, that's not like it is.
Ha!
There you go. See
There
that?
he is. Yep.
That should be on.
Well, like I said, I only printed the probably cog one over and over again
No, that's all right.
because I thought before I'd go any further, I thought I'd check and see if you want me to print one off in the resin.
What resin look like?
I'm just trying to find a good sample for you. Like these skulls here are done in the resin, those blue ones, but they're a weird shape, so it's not really a good telltale sign. I'm just trying to find something
There's
else
some
that's...
fairly fine detail. in
There
it.
is, that's right. There's some really fine detail. Here's another thing that's done in it. There's no teeth on that, obviously. And there's another to look at, that little guy.
Yeah, that's strong.
There's a lot of detail in it. It's very fine, very
Does that mean
precise.
it's easier to print than this bloody carbon and nylon stuff?
See, the thing with the resin printer is that it's much smaller and the material's a lot more expensive and it's messy. So it's a lot more expensive. Like to print that little guy there up to about $30. So I could probably do the 3 cogs for 30, but what will happen is there will be a flange that you'll have to you'll have to file down because the bottom will. If I just print them flat on the bed, the first layer exposes for a little bit longer. You know the dental resin they use on your teeth?
Yeah,
You know they cure it with UV light?
yeah.
That's how this resin works. So you imagine a vat of resin and it projects an image of the cog on the bottom of the vat.
Alright.
And that hooks that bit only where the light's shining and not the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then it lifts it up and pops it back down again and so on. The first layer always cooks for a bit longer to make sure it sticks to the build plate. So that first layer is going to have like a flange on it.
Oh, okay.
That one has been
Just
sanded
like
off, you know. So it'll be a little bit like how that one, see how that's got a bit of a flange on it?
Yeah.
The first one will be, the first layer would be a little bit, that's a good example. See how that's got that little bit of,
Yeah, there's nothing
Edge?
wrong with that, mate.
you know, if you're happy with them to just be
And
printed
you
flat
put
on the
that
bed
on
with
the
that on
ridge,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, just
Take
give it
it
a little
off.
nip, yep, yep.
But it really
Would
does.
you want me to make the cogs a little bit thicker to
Yeah,
compensate?
and it does need that star in the centre.
Yep.
Because there's a, what do they call it?
Right, here,
There's another gear
yeah, right, yep.
that goes in there, and that gear has got a grub screw on it. So it makes the connection of the gear
Yeah, gotcha.
to the shaft.
Look, these won't take long to print, but if you want to have a copy, because these ones here, it's a much faster technology. For things that aren't tall. If it's a tall object, it actually takes ages, but the things that aren't tall. So we're looking at 12 minutes. Huh. Enough time to go and get a coffee and come back. Be done.
Well, I was going to go sailing, but I think it's been put off. Oh, I don't know until I go down, but that is a really good finish, isn't it? That's very, very.
They're currently 4mm thick. Do you want me to make them up to 5?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how thick because it's so bloody light compared to the steel ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the rest of it's okay. I can give them a little bit of a sand, and the beauty of this is that I end up with the centres of the shafts all in the right position.
Yes.
And that's what killed me in the previous 3 attempts or 4 attempts I've made on a metal gearbox.
Gotcha. Okie dokie. Slice that. And I'll go and get the card from the machine, and yeah, that'll be, now it's going to change it to 15 minutes. There we go. Sorry everybody on YouTube, I'll be back in a second. Probably best to give it half an hour just to be on the safe side in case the estimate's out of whack.
Now, there should have been 2 of those, I think, Sam.
Which one? That one? Bugger. Okay, now pass that here and I'll
Look, I think we've gone overboard with this bloody carbon and nylon shit
too strong.
compared to that.
Oh look, the thing is with this, it's very brittle. It won't handle one crash if it gets a direct impact. It's hard and brittle, whereas this nylon, you know, you try and break one of those parts.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Except for, I mean, you just offset them a little bit.
Yeah, look, a little bit of a file if there's any gunk in between the teeth would usually be enough. But I just thought, you know, I don't want to print three cogs to the garbage.
No.
You can't use it. Just got another printed on
So
there.
what's this stuff?
Scrape off the resin.
What is this one?
That's ABS. So that's another, it's printed the same method as the carbon fibre. So you've got 2 major technology types. You've got ones that squirt plastic out of a nozzle, that's molten plastic, and you've got the other ones that use UV light to cure the resin.
Yeah.
So you've got, the resin thinners are a much smoother finish, but they're nowhere near as tough, like they just can't handle impact. Compared to the nylon, like you can do your absolute worst on one of those nylon parts, and you need a pair of scissors or something to damage it.
Well, I reckon they're better than carbon ones.
Oh, it's a nicer finish for sure. But
Pure nylon,
it's,
isn't it?
no, it's some kind of a stiff resin. I'm not sure what it's actually called, but it's a real brittle bugger of a thing. Yeah, the ABS is pretty good, that stuff, the resin. It's very brittle. So there's that part. I've just traced it so I know which bit I need to reprint.
I've invested so much money in this project and so much time, and nothing to give up.
It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun once you get it going.
Well, I'll bring it down. I promised to bring it down today, didn't I? And the one with the metal gears, that I was in just such a hurry to see how all this has come out.
Okay, so I've got to put that one on the top. What did I call that part?
What is that?
That part there, what is it? Is it the tail?
Yes, it's
It's the tail.
but it's not. Oh, yeah, okay. I think there's a couple of targets.
That looks like the one, doesn't it, on the computer there?
It's not that one.
That's in there, isn't it?
That's it. That's the little guy.
Well, you're looking at 29 minutes for that one as well.
Alright, well, what I might do is...
Go grab the memory card for that printer. I'll be back in a second. Did you want to shut the roller door a bit to keep you out of the rain, or are you?
No.
Stand
I was going to go and have a look at the radar to see what the...
There's a little brewery around the corner. I don't know if they're doing tasting again now.
I know the brewery is there.
Nice guys.
Our blokes at the village bought a couple of seats there.
Hey.
So we've got draft beer in our bars, retirement beer.
Alright, I'll get that one started now. Righto, Peter, that vat is full of gunk, so I just have to let it drain for a bit and give it a scrape out, so it's probably going to take more like an hour.
I'll go and see, have a look at the radar.
Yep.
Is that a motorbike tank, is it?
No, that's actually it's one of the from the BBC series, the tripods, the TV series about space aliens. One of the customers is a fan of the series, and he wanted one of them, so we've got it modelled up. And
what is it?
It's parts of like this robot kind of looking thing. It's like a three-legged robot monster.
I see. Very good.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Right, let's get this so yeah, one of them will be half an hour, the other one I'm just going to go in and clean the vat up.
What time do you want to go home?
Oh mate, what's the time now? Oh, 5 o'clock.
I'll be back before then.
Beautiful. Too easy.
Buddy.
Alright, you take it easy, I'll see you soon. Okay, sorry everybody, I'm back. I'm not going to read the chat straight away, I'm just going to get back into it. Sorry about that, sorry about the interruption to the flow. I hope you guys are all entertaining yourselves in the chat there. Now this ribbon cable is a bit unfamiliar. I might actually take the board out a bit and have a better go at being able to grip it. I can't remember what I've labelled as 12. Oh, my labels are coming off! No! 9, 10, 11, 7, 1, 2, 8, 11. Do I still have my 12 sticker somewhere? I might have lost my 12 sticker. Okay, so the blue tab was facing towards me. So I put my number 13, which could be 12, on that little guy. Now don't let me forget, people, I have to clean my vat next. Actually, I might just take you for a walk. You guys can come for a walk. So let me go quickly check the chat. It's a lovely day outside. There's my stream. Alrighty. Hey Brian. Reese. Yeah, another Chinese clone. Well, actually, I guess they're, I don't know whether it's an original Chinese or a clone Chinese, or both. Cool, yep, I was talking to a customer, he's gone. I'm doing a terrible job of pointing this camera. I'm going to point it at me. That's probably a better idea. Point the camera at me. Where are we? Oh, no, they're a bit different to Crowley. They're quite different. The hot end and everything's completely different. Direct drive, yada yada, so it's quite different. Some aspects are the same, but... Yep, you did get a rundown on resin printing. So you could hear me. That's good that you could hear me. I didn't know if you'd be able to. Cool. Alright, okay everybody, I'm back. I'm going to take you for a stroll. I'm just going to clean my vat and have some coffee. I built this yesterday. A stand for my printers. It's on wheels so I can move them around. Got 3 of these big old suckers here and 1 down there. Into the resin room. Experimental stuff going on here. Alrighty. So here's my vat drainage. I'm just going to put the phone there and hope for the best. It's very important to keep a tidy resin space. That's all I can say. If you don't have a tidy resin space, resin life is hard. Above all else, you do not want to get any resin on the bottom of the vat, on the bottom of the FEP sheet. If you do, it sticks to the screen, which is not what you want. My little tip is to get an old phone book. Perforate the pages at the spine so you can tear them easily. And always wash your gloves. Keep your gloves clean. Little mist of metho. Give them a good rub down and then wipe on a rag. Because if you don't have stuff on your gloves, then you don't spread it everywhere. So what I'm about to do now is try and flip this vat, which I've just poured into my funnel and had it sitting there draining. It's tilting slightly forward so that it drains and drips off and doesn't run backwards up along the back of it. I'm now going to just flip it. Give it a little bit of extra drip. And then I'm just going to quickly lay it face down so that it doesn't go onto the FEP sheet, onto the back of the FEP. Now I'll grab a piece of rag. Now I've got clean gloves, but I still don't really trust touching the bottom of the FEP, so I'm going to spread my hand and try and touch the outer rim. And just wipe that bit where it was dripping down the edge. Nice big boogie of resin. Fold it in on itself, check my fingers. Do another grab and wipe. Now I'm just going to give my gloves one more clean down. Now that spray bottle is actually designed for spraying oil on food. The reason I use that is because it pushes air into the chamber and then squirts it out of a tube rather than pumping the liquid itself. And it just seems to work a lot better with metho. It doesn't seem to die in the arse like the other ones do. I have not had a single spray bottle other than that one that hasn't died on me so far. So it just came from Coles or Woolies, I can't remember now. Okay, now checking the gloves one more time because I just screwed up a wall of paper that had resin on it, which was dumb, but they appear clean. I'm going to get some fresh paper towel. Keep everything in good clean over. Make sure that there is no resin on the outside of our bit of gear. Fresh bit of paper towel. Buff it off. Probably shouldn't actually use paper towel on the FEP, but so far so good. Okay, keep it aside. I'm just going to flip that. And obviously there's a bit of resin on that first sheet, so that's got to go. The other one looks good. Up that sheet. And there is some gunk on here, so I'm just going to try and collect it. Bit of it that's pretty stuck, so I'm going to go for the plastic scraper. Just gently try and pry that off without causing too much fuss. There we go. paper towel. And my fingers are very grubby again because I've been touching paper towel that's grubby. I'll wipe as much of that off onto the gloves as I can. Off the gloves, sorry. This top rim I'm not too fussed about touching with the gloves. It doesn't matter too much. It's away from the vat. We'll give that a final clean at the end. I don't always clean the inside of the vat this well, but there was some scum on there, so I decided to give it a better clean than usual. Okay, now one more wash with the hands. Okay. So notice this first piece of paper towel has a bunch of resin on it, so I'll just avoid that one for now. I'll just chuck them up there for later. Still be good for cleaning something, but it's not good for cleaning something that's supposed to be ultra clean. So now I'm just going to do the outside rim. And we're good to go back in the back. Alrighty, still got a print to get off the build plate. It's easy. Okey-dokey, add the resin. Probably use a little bit more. Okey-dokey, and we're good. Hopefully that was helpful for anybody that was does any resin printing. I'm sure it's all pretty common sense, but there's probably things they could have done better. You get that? Alrighty. Gloves off. That's the other thing. I never touch the case or the outside of the printer with, or the screen with my filthy gloves. I do that with just hands. And I'm just going to get the memory card for that printer. Chuck him on. Alrighty. So I've been playing around with the acceleration and jerk and some other settings to just try and get some faster prints out. So that's what's going on here. It's going pretty quick. This is carbon fibre nylon. So this is 66.6 millimeters a second. Looking good so far. Ooh, unless it's a layer shift. Anyway, we'll find out soon enough. Okay, back to the Wanhao. Alrighty. I've just spotted one more wire. Big ass plug down the bottom there. That one's going to be pretty hard to mix up. I'm not going to bother labelling it. I reckon I did lose that number 12 tag somewhere. We'll soon find out. Ribbon cable looks good. There's 12. Down 12. check the chat again in a sec, guys. Sorry. One of these days I'll have somebody reading the chats out to me, but for now, it is what it is. Alrighty. Let's start with, we've got 3 and 4. Let's just get 3 and 4 and 5 in. So we've got 1 and 2, 3 and 4. It's not a bigger screwdriver, guys. Shit. Okey-dokey. And since this one's with them, that's number 5, we'll get him in there as well, so that's the bed 10. They're all done. Now we'll come in with these power ones. Mr. 1 and Mr. 2. Or Mrs. Next, 11, 6, 8, 7, what are we up to? 5, up to 6. 9, 10, 6. Do the X motor. 8, 11, 7, and it's red. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now here's the bit where I go back in time and try and watch my old YouTube video. Which latch? Oh, you mean the latch on the main board? Teresa, if you mean the latch on the main board, I did actually break the latch on the main board, and I fixed it because I didn't need to, because the new main board had a good one on it, so it was fine. I've already unplugged that. No, that's right. There we go. Good. Righty, and we've caught up. Okay. Back over here. Alrighty, so that appears to have everything back in its spots. Apparently. Now this is a slight concern. This is just flopping around. It should not be just flopping around. They've just double-sided taped the thing in place instead of using the screw holes that they have there. So I might just find some screws. Okay. Some screws. Hopefully I've got on the right size. Terrible lighting here. Okay, one more screw. Okay, it's done. And I might as well get a zip tie. Where is the zip tie? bit of luck, that'll all go together nicely. I'm just gonna... I sort of need the feet on there, so I'm just gonna put the cover back on. Alrighty. Well, hopefully that's all we needed to do. With a bit of luck, they'll have already put firmware on the board for us, considering it was from the factory, I believe. I think it was an original board. If it's not, it's a naughty clone because it's got the branding on it. So the customer actually supplied the board, so good luck. Everything goes smoothly. Alrighty, sorry if that's a bit boring, everybody. But, that's what I was on here to do, and I did it. Just stand them back up. Unplug the heat gun. Hopefully I did all that right. Alrighty, what's that? Let's go for power. Okay, bit of juice string. Magic smoke. No magic smoke. Okay, we have a firmware on there by the looks of it. That's good. There's already some G-code on here. So in theory everything should just be right to go. Let's see what she does. We've got readings on the extruder, readings on the bed. So far so good. So yeah, the hot end's quite different to the Creality machines, if you're still there, Brian. Very strange and different configuration. Direct drive, motor there, some kind of single gear extruder in that bit there. Sorry, that bit there. And then moving down, you've got a fan in a very strange place. Another one underneath. And there's your sock, hot end sock and nozzle. Yeah, so it's a bit different. Why am I plugging it back in? I didn't fix it. The printer? Yeah, I swapped the mainboard. There's a new mainboard in there. That's the old mainboard there. Oh, hang on, this is bad. Oh, there we go. So that's what the problem was, and in theory we should be good to go, I believe. I'll come and check the proper chat. Probably pointing the camera at my nose. Yep, I did change the mainboard. No magic smoke. What else did I miss? So Teresa, were you talking about the latch on the... Oh geez, that's right up close in my face. Oh dear. That was a real good close-up, wasn't it? Sorry about that. I will go through this chat properly in a sec. Cool. Okay, well that's cool. Alright, so I'm just going to go in and check on some prints in the other room. It's still heating up. Teresa, when I check the messages on this phone that I've got here, it goes a bit batty on me, so... yes, we've got some layer shift action. That is just too quick for its own good. Geez, a lot of it's going okay though. I might turn the combing off and just see if that fixes it. I mean, I could go back to my conservative settings as well, but I'd rather get to the bottom of this. I wonder if I'm clever enough to open up Cura in this. capture. No, we want Cura. That one. Okay, that seems to be on top. Cool. Righto, so we had layer shifting in the... Oh shit, where did I put the print? Just gotta go get it. Yeah, we had some layer shifting in the something direction. X direction by the looks of it. Let me zoom out. No, Y direction. I might try something, rather than just changing settings. Now please window pop up when I do this. Manage printers. No, it doesn't. New turd. Okay, here we go. Little window. Blow that up for you guys. Schnoz came. Have we got Schnoz came again? Oh, that was before. Okay. What's confusing? Where are we? Machine settings. Now in here, I took the standard Ender 3 gear. Like there's some G code that's already in there when you tell Cura that you have an Ender 3, and it's got some bits that set some values in here, and I commented them out, I believe. Hang on a second. No, I didn't. Apparently, I thought I did. Interesting. Maybe I had multiple instances of Cura opened when I was doing this and it's reverted back to another one. That happens. I had done some... I deactivated the restraints anyway, basically. So I deactivated these settings that change the E-step, sorry, the speeds. Acceleration, etc. So it seems like... Oh no, X, Y and Z I've changed here. Oh shoot, you can't see this window. Sorry everybody. One more window capture I've got to add in. That one. Alrighty, here we are. So yes, so I've changed the values in these to be faster. So I've gone from 5 to 20. So that's jerk. Extrude from 5 to 20, X and Y, 8 to 20, Y. Alright, I'm just going to change that jerk for Y axis to 15, not 150. So those are just notes. I didn't mean to do them in capital letters, but I'm not going to fix it. They're just notes. Anything after this little colon thing there, whatever that is, semicolon, everything after that in a line just gets read as for humans, so it doesn't actually do anything with it, but all the other stuff does stuff. So that's hopefully going to just help with that y-axis shifting. Okay, and I should be able to close that down. Close that down. Hopefully I don't have any other cures open. No, I don't. Good. Alrighty. What have I got changed in my profile? Going to update these settings because I do like that fan speed setting that I've done. And hopefully what I did then is enough to stop it from shifting. I really am trying to get this to go as fast as possible. The other thing I think I will do, because I've got this guy coming back in again shortly, I'm just going to travel 29 minutes with combing on, 29 minutes with combing off. Now it should Z-hop everywhere it goes, so there's much less chance of getting a layer shift. Let's try that. So we don't like layer shifts here at 3D Print Revolution. Uh-oh. Okay, we have an issue with the old Z offset here. Definitely extruding though. We'll have to deal with that BL touch in a minute. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, let's let that print. Oh, look at that, the cogs are done. Excellent. Now, I've got to plan this because I don't want to touch the camera stand with filthy gloves, so I might just wrap a bit of paper towel around it. Got something to grab it by if I need to tweak it. So everybody, I'm going for a little whirly. Okay, if I need to change the camera position with dirty hands, I can. That was terrible pointing. That's better. Okay, so I'm just put a little drip guard there. Okay. Right, so I've got a little container that I generally try and drip all the juice into because I can recapture it. I've got my spatula that's sharpened off just on one side. It's usually pretty good for getting in and getting things off. Sometimes I have to hold it firmly up against there and find a baton cup. Oh dear, I chipped a piece of it off. That's not good news. I'll try and get the other ones off of that remainder. Okay, so I've just given some free spare parts. Make sure there's no little shards behind. I'm not going to clean the whole thing, I'm just cleaning the bit where I think there might be some shards. That's the last thing we want. Make sure there's nothing about to drip off it. Okay, now I'll just go back and quickly print again. Okay, well, I'm a bit bummed out that that broke. Okay, so I'll just get my little drainer container and stick them up there. Alrighty, now for the bucket. Just drop them in the bucket before I show you the bucket. Because I'm just going to want to wash the bulk of that resin off my fingers before I even attempt to touch the camera. Okay. Okay, now my phone's ringing, so I'll be having to go and answer it in a sec. So that's the bucket, nice big bucket. It's used metho, been used multiple times. Just give everything a good swish in there. I wish I had an ultrasonic cleaner, but I don't. I find a couple of good goes with the metho seems to give it a pretty damn good wash though. Alrighty, so I have a good swish through there. Then I'll just grab those parts and give them a really good blast off with the metho straight out of the bottle. And capturing most of that metho back into the container. Paying particular attention to holes. I'll just go all the way around those teeth and give them a good blast as well. I don't know if you can see that, I'll show you in a second. There's a, I've been using old masks to filter my resin with. Oh, sorry, not my resin, my metho. It's amazing how much crud you can get out of the metho. I was doing a process of exposing it to UV light, but lately I've been just doing the filtering because I feel like it goes sort of stringy and stretchy and doesn't seem to be as easy to filter. You would intuitively think it's easier to filter when it's got the resin partly cured, but it kind of just makes goop, which the liquid doesn't separate from. It's very difficult to filter goop. I'm going to start distilling it, I think. Okay, so that's done. Move back on that sponge. General tidy up. Run out of metho in that bottle, time for a top up. So I wouldn't recommend using used metho in a spray bottle because the metho itself is bad enough smelling and probably bad enough for your lungs without any resin in it. You really don't want to be making tiny particles of resin go up into the air. So I would not recommend recycling the method that you're using in this spray bottle. But I definitely think it's worth just reusing the stuff as long as you can in the bucket. So now I'll just take this little goodie basket outside, take one glove off to grab the camera with. Take this out and give it a bit of a cure. A little goodie bag. Yeah, these masks are great little filters to catch all your debris and not only the debris but the actual the fine particles of resin. There you go. You can just go in there and cure a bit. Okay. And yes, I'll occasionally drain this back into the bottle, this little station here. So I've got the brim set quite quick on this, and there's a reason for it. Normally I wouldn't, because you want that brim to go down fairly slow, but I'm using a draft shield, and you don't get the choice of setting a different speed for the draft shield on the first layer as the rest. It just sets the draft shield to whatever speed your skirt or brim is. So that sort of needs changing. I think the first layer brim should be different than the consecutive layers as far as speed goes, but it still seems to stick just fine, so not complaining too much. Yeah, so I was having trouble with these snail type fans dying on this printer, and it was because the original fan shroud was holding them on like a 45-degree angle, and so I've gone to a square fan, and that was not capable of blowing as much air through the jets, and it was actually creating a lot of back pressure. So I've put this dodgy cardboard tube on to just to stop there from being air blowing around on the job when you don't want it. And my phone's ringing, I'll be back. So you had the audio, but not the visuals. Cool. Oh man! So I did all that scraping off of the resin prints and everything, all blind. No one saw it. I'm a doofus. I'm a doofus. Yeah. So I had been printing these little parts off an F1 racing car, which you'll see in a second, Teresa, when it comes up on the stream. It's like a little shroud thing that goes behind the driver, I think. There's a draft shield on that, but you can't tell that. Let's rip it off. Yeah, so I'm printing a different print right at the moment because the guy that wanted that one just dropped in, so I'm trying to knock it out for him before he goes, or he's gone and coming back. Yeah, so that's the part that I've been tweaking away at. Yeah, there is a bit of a delay in the YouTube, isn't there? Huge delay. So yeah, I've been printing some more skulls as usual. I just had a lady buy 5 different coloured skulls, and I had a bunch of plastic and thought I might as well use the 5 different colours up and just print a stack of them. And then I got in trouble off Heather because I was using up all the colours for skulls. So, so I had to stop. Here we go. So we're pumping away at those in the resin. I'm using the dodgiest film sheet screen protector at the moment because I did get a bit of resin on my screen the other day when I had a little leak in my sheet, and that took some cleaning. Oh yeah, one ev. That's a good idea. Yeah, I've considered that. Does it get like little bubbles underneath it, or is it pretty good? Because this plastic that I use kind of seems like it sticks to itself a bit and makes like little bubbles. I mean, they don't seem to affect the prints. Yep. Yep, awesome. Yep. Well, I considered that, and then I happened to have this stuff, and I didn't have a spare FEP sheet, so... But what I'm going to do next is actually is get a glass screen protector and try that. I've heard of people having good luck with those. So well, there's actually a film on top of that that's got polarization on it, and don't wash that with acetone. Whatever you do. Found out the hard way. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's nasty stuff. But yeah, definitely don't put it on the screen because it washes off the polarizing effect. Yep. I like that. You like your impending respiratory doom to smell like bubblegum. Trying to find I believe I can switch cameras on this. Ah, there it is. There's the button. Front and back. Okay, it doesn't give me two back camera options. So this is the shot from the outside at the moment. Oh, hang on, I'll turn the light off. That's not helping us. Oh, you're kidding. No. No, seriously? No. Oh, through the window. That's all right. Oh, you had me going. Teresa said, I can see Kira again. Oh, dear. That's okay, then. Yeah, so I've got a bit of a display of stuff happening out there. This mailbox is supposed to have Snoopy on it. Where'd Snoopy go? Oh, crap. I'm locked out. That's alright. I've got a key in my dreadlock. Never get locked out again. Almost locked myself out in the middle of the night once, and that was not good. Anyway, I'll stick Snoopy on quickly, and then I'm going to go. There he is. I brought him in to paint him, and then never got around to it, so I'll put him back out. So I'm going to try and print with this printer again now, and see what the go is with the Z offset being so wacky. I think when I got the printer in, the BL Touch probe was bent. And I get a feeling that it had been bent for quite a while and they'd been using it bent, because when I straightened it out, the Z offset went wrong. I hate them. Yep. It's automatic. It's automatic bed. It's automatic bed screwing up on you. Ah, okay. The little part. Yeah, right. Heating? Come on, heat up for me. There we go. Alright, so I'm just heating this printer up because it's got a big boogie on the end of the nozzle, which is not going to help with trying to get the nozzle level. Mr. Boogie, zoom in on the boogie. Might pop this camera back up on this is my makeshift camera equipment. Nice. Now put my flash back on. Oh, really? Oh, I saw that in your Instagram. Facebook. Bone Buddies group, that's right, yeah. You know what I put in my Trello list the other day, Teresa? My Trello list, you know what Trello is? It's like a app that you use for making you do shit. What do they call it? An organizing app. And well, I need it. So anyway, I put in to clean up those scans that we did all that time ago. So that's on the cards to get that sorted, because I spotted them and I was like, ooh, we haven't actually cleaned up those scans. So that should be cool. And did I tell you I got a scanner? You knew I got a scanner, didn't you? I've got a Revo Point Pop. So I've been having a bit of a play with that. Got a pop. Got a poppy. Alright, where are we? We're at 198. That should be hot enough to clean the boogies. Where's a suitable boogie wiper? Oh, you know why? Because I'm wearing a friggin' mask. I don't know why I'm still doing that. I went outside. I was talking to my own dirty underwear, or at least my own fecal matter anyway. All the shit I dribble. Okay, so... Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, the old $2 Bluetooth headsets. Not much good. Cool. Bag factor. Okay, so there we go. Now let's get this thing down to 0. Where are we? Back. Utilities. Home. X, Y, and Z. Change the increments. Doesn't let me change. That's pretty dumb. You don't get to choose increments when you're moving the axis on this. It's just like $10 at a time, regardless of what you want to move it. Okay, so that's down as low as it wants to go, so we definitely need to change the Z offset. Where is the Z offset in this damn menu? Settings, motor settings, factory reset. And that's E steps. Yeah. Utilities. Level. Next. Alright, so it's going to probably do like a little auto level probe and then stick the knob back in the middle and let me lower those Z offset, I hope. Because I couldn't find anything else but the leveling option to be able to do the Z offset. Couldn't find Z offset in there, so hopefully it's in this little program that's running. Simplifier. Okay, that's good. So I just got to there we go. Next. Leveling in process. Right, now it should work. That was actually pretty simple. It was well programmed. Yeah. Quite often you got to sort of dick around and go back and forth through different menus and save and stuff. Hopefully it's going to... now it's in a full bloody bed probe. Mongrel thing. That's why I don't like it. Like, in the time it takes to do that bed probe, other printers would have completed a print. Like this one. Alrighty, have we had a layer shift? I think we might have again. Yep, we have had another layer shift. Yeah, that bed's struggling. See, if I just push at that bed, did you hear that? It's struggling. The motor's not that hot. It's almost like the driver needs to just be turned up a little bit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's it's going too fast for the amount of power that the motor's got. If I put a bigger motor on and turn the current up a little bit, or even just turn up the current, it would probably help. But I'll just slow something down a little bit more. I do have everything really cranked up to the flat knackers, so it doesn't have to be going that fast. Let's do my little trick of pulling out the SD card mid-print so that it doesn't cool down. Instead of pressing stop and having it cool down on me. Okay, the Wanhao looks like it's done. I don't know whether there was any option to save those settings. Yeah, it could be the toilet roll. Could be causing it. It's in the Y direction though, so I doubt it. Because the bed's swinging back and forth. I don't think it'd make much difference on that. Okay, I think we're good. I think it's going to print. Let it do its thing. See what settings we can change. I'm going to switch back over to Cura again on the screen, and this time, hopefully I'm not going to forget. Maybe I need to do a split screening. Maybe I need to do... No, they can't. But I could put you on speaker if you want. What have you got an allergy to this time? Ah, of course. That's always fun. Traction speed, Z-hop height. So it could be just touching. See, this carbon fibre nylon does tend to have little like rough, little blobbies that kind of stick up off it. And because it's such a tough material, if something crashes into it, it doesn't really move much. And it's got a fairly high temperature stability, so it doesn't sort of melt out of the way very easily either. So I get a suspicious feeling that, well, yeah, that or just increase the Z-hop height might do it too. I can see actually, you know what? I'm gonna increase the Z-hop height because I can see a path where the nozzle is ploughing its way along things. So before I change any speed settings, I'm going to change the Z-hop height to 0.4 and see if that does the trick for us. Because that's not going to take really any longer to print, it's just going to jump higher. Page removable drive. Oh shit, I just pulled it. Yeah, that's right. See, like the speed factor is going to be like the layer shifts caused by speed will be way lower speed if it's dragging on the model than if it's floating through the air. So it can travel a lot faster if it's not touching the model than if it is. Like if it's dragging the nozzle across the surface of the print, that's going to be like fighting it the whole way. Z-seam, I think, is aligned. I'll have to double check. I do vary that from print to print. Yeah. Yeah, if you've like for strength, I like to use random if it's something that needs uniform strength. Cool. No, we will not resume the print. We will print a new. Yeah, is it both? Is it both, or is it not so bad? All right, now that I've I will go in. I'm just going to go back in and change the settings again because I do want to clean off that resin print. Oh, come on, I haven't put the filament back in this mongrel bastard now. I don't think YouTube will monetize me anyway. So far, anyway. There we go. One day. Alright, that's looking better. Well, it hasn't even been dragging snot yet, and it appears to not be coming out the nozzle. The motor is turning. But it is not gripping the filament. The spring might not be tight enough. When I squeeze up on this spring, it seems to extrude. I wonder if the what's the word for it? I wonder if the lever arm has a crack in it, maybe. That happens sometimes. Come on, little pupper, off you come. Yeah, where it's spinning on the spot. Like it might, the grub screw might have come loose. There we go, let's do some unplugging of some stuff. Let's get to the bottom of this. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, really not a big fan of the way they've got this set up, actually, to be honest. There's like a whole bunch of shit in the way. There's like everything possible in the way to make it hard to get into. Smaller, okay. I'd be all about it. They certainly make things not as easy as they could be to repair, that's for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do definitely care about right to repair and open source. Now, just tell me, is that... No, I can see when I... Oh shit, nearly dropped it. That was close. That's probably a better camera angle than where I had it. okay, that'll have to do. So this silly looking, yeah. Okay, stepper motor can unplug. Alright, that isn't too bad. It's a bit fugly. Gee, what a cracker it is. Top of my head. Oh, the reflection of the mirror, yeah. Can you see the... Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. It's too bright. Yeah, hold on. I might just turn the flash off. I think that's somewhat better. Balance out the exposure value as well. Yeah, I think that's a much better setup. Yeah, that's... Where the bloody hell does that come off? Oh dear. Yeah, like they've really given you no easy way to get to the extruder. It's behind all this crap. Like it's bolted onto the motor, and then the motor's bolted on somehow, and there's shit in the way. Like to get to the bolt for the motor, how the hell? I've got to take the belt. There's a plate with the belt on it that seems to be attached to the carriage, and that plate carries the thing that seems to be bolted on with the steppers. That is bizarre. Unless they've got a really long screw that goes through from the back that holds that stepper motor in. Yes, it does. What a dumb design. I've seen dumber, I suppose, but... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very weird... Okay, so that's... Well, that should have come off now. Now I can't understand why it's not. So maybe it's not just bolted in by those two. What else could it be bolted in by? Oh yeah, they're not long enough to go into that. Okay, so it wasn't that. It wasn't those two. That must be bolted in from the other bloody side, which is behind shit. Ridiculous. Am I even on camera anymore? Oh, it's all dark now, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it wasn't those two screws from the back, which they could have done. They could have just put long screws through. So I guess it really does appear that there's no other alternative, unless maybe I'll get it around the back. Hold on. Maybe there's some hidden access to the bolts. Nope. Nope, there is not. Hold on a minute. Nope. That is a strange and poor design. Yeah, like they've got all these, like the carriage does not look like it's going to want to come off without the whole thing coming apart. Oh, hold on, no, there's only, that's even dumber. There's only 2 screws holding the whole thing on. So all that shit was held on by 2 little pizzly screws right up the top. That's not a very solid system. Yeah. So it looked like it looked like you had to take it all apart to get it off, but it was actually just those 2 screws, which didn't intuitively look like enough to hold it on. And so they seem to actually, interestingly, have a strange kind of a dual extruder. Dual drive gear on it. That's interesting. Let's get him apart. Let's get him on the table. Yep, and this time I'm going to ditch Kira. Full screen. Am I pointing the camera at me? Just trying to find the thing that makes it full size. Uh-oh, we've done something and now all I can see is mesh mixer. There we go, back to that, seems better. Sorry, I'm not very good at driving ABS. There's supposed to be a button I can like right click on and make it so that it goes to full screen. Fit to screen. There we go. Fit to screen. Excellent. Okay. Just have to go up a bit higher. Well, that's good, nice and clear. Alrighty. I was really dreading having to pull this thing apart. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting setup. Don't choke on water. I mean, I kind of like this extruder, knowing now that it is actually a dual drive extruder. That's kind of cool. Like it has got this, can you see that? Well, it is. This here is toothed and meshes in with the drive gear. So the idler actually does mesh with the drive gear. Maybe the bearing that's riding on's knackered. It seems like something's up with it. It's got a lot of play in it. The teeth. I think yours has just got a smooth idler. Yeah, it's got teeth. Yeah, it's weird. Like one side of it sticks out further than the other. I think it's the side that grips on and engages. Yeah, no, I think it is the other side. No, the way it meshes with the. Sorry, yeah, the other side has only got tall teeth on that side as well. You'll have to wait till it catches up. So that's actually a pretty unique. I've never seen that before. I've often thought, why don't they just make it so that it does that? And the Bondtech style sort of more or less do, but they're just a bit different than these. Yeah, it's got weird teeth as well. It's like a deep cut, then a double shallow cut, then a deep cut, then a double shallow cut. Yeah, I'll go get a little toothbrush or something to give it a bit of a spruce up. And I might just put a more powerful spring on this as well. Ah, very interesting. The hole does not line up. Try and get the camera to line up. Where are we? There's the hole. It's hard to see, but the hole doesn't line up with the gear. The gear needs to move along a little bit, and I wonder if that's part of the problem. I reckon there's a damn good chance of it. Yeah. Let's just have a look in here and see what's going on with that as well. See, sometimes these little shafts probably wear out. That's fucking hell. There's no bearing on that whatsoever. It's just literally riding on a plastic shaft. It's just metal riding straight on a plastic shaft. That's pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic indeed. Yeah, a smooth groove. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and this has got a gear, but there's no bloody little bearing on it. I don't know why they didn't put that on a bearing, because that's just going to wear that little shaft out, which is probably what's going on. Not for that. I don't have a spare one for this because it's a weird unique one. Maybe, but I think that the other gear's too weird. Yeah. First, before I do that, I might just shuffle this gear along a little bit so it aligns better. And try that first, because I don't know if the other one's going to fit easy. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's going to be a very similar thing here, only it's because it's a stiff. It could have been the problem all along, Teresa. It really could have. But I'm pretty certain though that when I put the I reckon that the drivers were dead too, because before with the other main board the thing wasn't spinning. The shaft of the motor wasn't spinning. It would have been really struggling. Yeah, it would have been struggling to push it at the very best. All along. Don't you hate that? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I reckon that we're onto it. One. So maybe that main board was perfectly good. That's a shame. Oh, I'll give it back to him as a spare. He's got 2 of these machines. Possibly pretty good. Although this might be fine when it's engaging properly too. I mean, he hadn't had any problems previously until this one played up, and he'd had the printers for quite a while. I wonder if there's damage on those teeth. They look like they may have been damaged. Or maybe that's just the shape they were. Like, it is weird. It's definitely a weird shape. It's only a small bit of damage. Like, what you might be seeing is just the weirdness. It's got like these extra pointy teeth along the top edge, and the rest of it's kind of flatter. So it's definitely a strange design. And unique to this particular... sorry. I can't see my camera properly. Yeah, you can sort of see where my finger's gripping it when it rolls. That it's the highest edge. Nah, they never engaged, I reckon, because they're short on both cogs. They're like too short to even reach each other on both, if that makes sense. So I think it is more or less the shape it's meant to be. More or less, not entirely. Spider sensors. I think Heather's arriving. Alrighty, I'm going to put that back together and just see how it behaves. Now like that. It almost looks like it wants a washer in there. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, because I reckon this other one wants to come up as well. I shall try that, because it's not like I don't have a lot of washers getting around.
Hi. I didn't serve, I had to do it.
Why?
No, if I just gave you the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so...
Stop putting things in plate. Move everything off the chair. chairs are not tables.
I know, chairs are not tables. So the only camera is the one over here, Heather, so you're off camera.
Oh, technically I don't know. These,
Pardon?
technically.
Yeah, for the washer,
Get up.
pop the washer
Get
in.
up. Get it up.
2 washers
I want to.
for space.
Take it.
I reckon I only moved it across about the distance of one. Yeah, that looks better. I also have a longer spring. Don't know whether to put that in straight off the bat or try it without it first. Yeah, actually, it's a bigger diameter too. I need to get a wider spring. And have another one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon that one's it's got a bit more oomph, but it lines up nicely. First we need to get the washer onto. Am I still on camera? Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh, hold on, that's not the right screw for that. Where is it? I don't think it is. The longer what, sorry? Oh, hang on, no, that is a tapered hole. Yeah, that's right, the shorter one's the original. It's not much longer, it's just a little bit longer. I reckon it's about right. Hopefully. Yeah, that is always fun trying to... It's going to jump up and get me, you reckon? Yeah, it does happen. Yeah, that's looking okay. We'll soon find out, that's for sure. Well, that definitely lines up with the hole better. Yeah, once upon a time, yeah. Yeah. 'Cause yeah, that's right, it could have been pulled apart more times than I know. Yeah. Before I put it all back together again. Filament. Yeah, you'd sort of think it would, but it's not. That's pretty good. That feels really good. Yeah, YouTube hasn't caught up. I'm on the ball. It's YouTube that's not. YouTube's just a little bit slow. Alrighty. Teresa, is there anything interesting in the chat that I should be responding to? Is there anything in the chat that I should be responding to? Cool. What did you say, Heather? Stop doing boring live streams. Heather says to stop doing boring live streams. Do interesting live streams and then people will watch and join. Okay. So that could have all stayed there the whole time. Let me get the other screws for that. Yep.
Now it is a solid dust.
Am I still on camera? I think I moved out of front. Oh, there we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's interesting getting familiarised with different machines all the time. Ah, I know what that is. That's the different screws, righto. Yeah, look, it is good that they do have it held on by those two bolts, but geez, the third one at the bottom of the carriage wouldn't have friggin' killed them. Like, the fact that that's held on by two little bolts up high means that the whole thing's got the potential to wobble around. Which obviously hasn't been too much of an issue for them, but it could be. Like one screw down the bottom would have just made that whole arrangement more stable. Alrighty, let's get him covered back up again. Well, I don't know what the inside of one of these looks like now. Yeah, I know. I didn't used to know, but I do now. Righto. Okay, let's get him back on the printer. Hopefully without having to change the Z offset or anything. Yeah, there's a bit of touch floating around there. You'll be able to see it in a second on the when it lines up, when YouTube catches up. Okie doke. Those two screws back in. He's gone. One. Right one. Cool. Nice and clear, wasn't it? Yeah, in frame and clear.
That food is not going to last much longer.
Thanks, Heather. I've got to eat soon, everybody.
What?
I was telling the stream I have to eat. My food's going to go yucky and I don't want it to. Possibly. Alrighty, let's turn him back on. Yeah, that's right. You've got to talk like there's a crowd. You've got to talk like there's a crowd even if there isn't. Oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah, so they... And she left. What a tangled mess that is. Get this poking my butt.
No.
Alright, let's get this tangle out.
Where's the camera?
The camera is there.
Is it on top?
Okay.
Who cares about that? Is that Georgie's?
Yep. Yep, she's being camera shy. She just waved with just her hand.
Or your audience of one, is that?
Yeah, I've got an audience of one, I think, yeah. It's Teresa.
You need to get more people on the channel.
It's got 2 likes.
Teresa and
One
you.
from you and one from someone else. Alrighty, there we go, it's
Grab
heating
your
up.
phone, please. Phone in your pocket. Phone.
Phone?
Give me a phone. I'll send that email to George.
Oh yes, get the forwarding, and you can tell him that I'm working on it today, hopefully it'll be done.
Why is this a phone? So I didn't realise you were talking on the phone to Teresa.
Yeah, I did a
This is her new
few,
number, is it?
I did a few doopy things. What did I do?
Is that her new number?
That must be. Yeah. Have you got a new number, Teresa? Have you got a new phone number? Cool.
Yeah. Yes? Why is a yes?
Gotcha, yes. Yes.
Why is a yes or what? Save it or not? Is it a new number to save or not?
Hold on a sec. Heather's asked me a question about it. Sorry, one sec. What did you say?
Should I save her number? New.
Yeah, so we should save that one then, or is it the other one that we call you on and you just call us back on that?
But it's both her.
Yep, cool. So both calls go to the phone, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if
But
we
it is her other number.
Yeah, I'm just putting it as
Save it
Teresa
as that.
too.
Cool. Don't dox. Don't dox her. Don't dox Teresa.
I'll
and
read the number
read the
out.
number out on the screen. Alrighty, what am I eating?
2 bites is yours. Don't be a piggy. Don't eat on the phone to Teresa and in front of the live stream.
Yum.
Don't eat on camera. It's disgusting.
Very nice. I'll put you on to Heather while I'm munching.
Yeah, I was just hello. I didn't know he was on the phone to you.
And for the stream, I'm going to put the camera pointing at the print. It's more interesting. Oh, it printed. Oh, it might have printed without layer shifts. No, it didn't. It got a layer shift. Damn layer shifts. Alright, I'm going to have to slow something down. I'm just going to print it slow. It's printing at half speed. And it's going to take a while to heat up, so that's going to be boring as well. Sorry everyone, it's all going to be boring. I might actually wrap the stream up.
Because he's been playing with OBS and the second test was he only noticed 10 minutes into the stream.
Straight to heat fast, stop system, please. Ah, helps if you plug it in.
That was pretty good. But there wasn't I'm such a goose. It was like, okay, here's the audio, but it wasn't even a good reaction. You don't want to, sorry? Yeah, that's cool. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. And because, the log doesn't shrink like one thing long enough for you to go both ways. And so is he 10 now? 11 now. Yeah, so that's, definitely, travel training is important. I think Sam's trying to ask if the camera looks good.
No, I'm just reminding you that you're on the stream.
Oh. Right, but I didn't think there was an audio.
There's audio on
You
this.
could, so it's confusing for me.
Just there's audio on this.
Okay. Yeah. I come in every time. Right.
Alrighty, that's heating up. It's doing its job.
Yes. Yes, it's not. Yeah, could probably work soon. Maybe. No, he's stuffing his face still. Right. Yeah, I didn't quite realise that. Because then when he was saying, oh, degrees, I was like, oh, so there's no audio or whatever. It's just physics, it's just something to say. So, that's good. Lucky it's not on camera. No.
Okay, come on, Mr. Wanhao.
Don't worry. Well, Sam's kids drink so fast they drink water, so I'm worried about them, and I think it's congenital. It's a congenital disability. It's real, like they can't even drink water, so he's passed it on to them. So anyway, so they do that. Yeah, so that's the point. So
We're a family of guzzlers.
they're a family of guzzlers.
Guzzles, that's how we roll.
But like just every time I'm like, are you okay? Oh, no, this is how I drink. I'm like, please stop choking. Yes, I was trying to call them and and I asked the trainer, he said using I'm like, why are you using power tools when I'm trying to talk to you? And then just like I'm allowed to be in the middle of using power tools. Well, maybe not on a
I was halfway through building this and it's going to fall down.
Well, you shouldn't have been to the front. I'm trying to find something on here.
Okay, fingers crossed. We're going to have some serious luck this time. We get a perfect print.
I'm getting confused because Sam's talking to the print to the computer, but then he was also
Talking to the stream.
He's talking to the screen.
Sorry, everybody. We're very unprofessional streamers.
Really? Anyway, I'm going to pass you back to Sam because I'm getting like he's talking to the live stream and then but that's just how. Yeah. Okay, here's the other one.
I've got one earbud and Heather's got the other.
Okay, no, wrong ear.
So we've got Bluetooth headset on and Heather had one bud and I had the other. And now I've got them both. Alrighty, so we're good. We're back to printing. The printer is printing. Let's see if it extrudes. Let's get an up close and personal shot of the extrusion. We have movement at the station. Yeah, I get a feeling that it's still not really having a lot of grip. Yep. Or a new extruder. Just a whole different setup, something that's a bit more normal. Okay, when I say normal, for me, normal at the moment has been this setup. So it's very much not normal. Yep, that's right, you'll catch up. So this is a BMG, where are we? Zoom out. A BMG clone that is all metal, mostly metal. That G code printed perfectly before for the customer though, so that's like I haven't played with the. Oh, you mean too far off the bed? Possibly, but when I pinch the filament, it feels like it just slips easily. Pardon?
Keyboard isn't coming.
Oh, it's because we're in the phone call. It does weird things in the phone call. Where was I? So yeah, this is what I've been calling a normal setup. Back to over here again. So we've got a blower fan. We've got behind the blower fan. We've got the extruder motor. It's all nice and accessible. We've got the Volcano hot end. That's basically, it's a bit like the Hemera. I don't know if you've seen much about the Hemera, but it's basically you've got the heater block, and then it goes straight onto this body. There's no like. And here's a better view of it here without the fan on. So you can see you've got the. Yep, so you've got your extruder here. I'll talk anyway because you'll be able to see the audio on the stream that lines up with it. Oh, of course, yep. So basically, I'll just sort of talk through it anyway for the stream. So you've got your extruder here, and then you've got your heater block, and it goes straight onto the extruder. There's no heat break section because the extruder is metal and it does the heat sinking for you. So the heat sink, sorry, not the heat break. There is a heat break still, but the heat sink is the block of the extruder, and that gets cooled. So you've really got like the distance between the gears. The gears are about where the center of the fan is there. You've only got like say 2 centimeters before it gets into the melt zone, from between the gears and the melt zone. So it's quite good for flexibles. I'd argue it'd probably give the Flexion a run for its money. And yeah, the 3:1 gear ratio. That's pretty good. The throats they come with, though, I'm not a fan of the bimetal throats that they come with because it's a piece of tubular stainless steel with a press fit of brass on both ends of it, and they leak. Oh, okay. Let's have a look behind. Well, hold on. Let me get one that's in a box and I'll open it up. Hold on. Where is my box of those things? I have some in a bag. Pardon, Heather? Pardon? That was a different pumpkin. But yeah, it did get killed. It was a dead pumpkin. Okay, let me get one out of the box. And we can have a look at him. BMG Wind. I'm going to make a mess here, hold on. Let me get some room. Yeah. Good old lag. Alright, so here's the box. Open up the box. Alrighty, so that's the extruder. There's your extruder gears. This bit here is just a temporary part that comes off when you assemble it and put your motor on. That's where your plastic gets fed out and your throat screws straight into there. And let me just find a throat and a block.
Now you smell damp.
You should mute the phone and put the audio back on the video. Fair enough. Alright, well for the stream I'll just finish up this little show off. So your throat screws into here and your heater block screws directly onto that. So there's no... Cool, thanks for joining, Teresa. Yeah, yep, catch you soon. Alright, you have a good day. Hooray, see ya! So yeah, for everybody else, that's what I call a normal extruder these days. Basically a very good system. I don't like the original throats, like I was saying. I've had them leak on me. So I won't be getting with those threads anymore. And lately I've spotted these ones that have got a hex screw on this end of it so that you can actually screw it in. And it is a dual metal one, but it seems like this part on them is stainless. And it seems like that bit's turned into a shaft that goes up into the brass. So I think they should hopefully leak less. The trouble with I don't have one handy because I've busted all the ones that weren't on the machine. Yeah, I don't have one to show you. But yeah, they're not much good. If you look up bimetal heat break, you'll see them. They've got like there's types that have got just a really thin bit of stainless steel tubing and it's got brass at both ends for the threads, and then the other type have got brass at one end and stainless at the other, or titanium at the other. So anyway, all right, look, this is it. I'm done. I've done all I can do on that Wanhao for now until we get another extruder. We will go from there, and I'll talk to you all in the not too distant future. Thanks for joining the stream. I just did the